Uh, we started thinking about this film, I think, almost 10 years ago. Um, I personally was somehow involved in this film since, I think, 2014. So it's not a film about this precise moment, um, but it's actually a film about decades or last 2 decades of our lives. And it is based on a theater play that is almost 15 years old. So I think we all, me and Tommaso Santi as a screenwriter, and two of the main actors, Francesco Borchi and Mohamed Kasumovic, and our producer, Boštjan Ikovic, we all saw this film as some sort of story about the time we are living in, about what's happening actually to us during all these crises, not just the migrants crisis that this film particularly deals with, but with all these crises we are facing. Of course, we've done this film before the pandemic started, before the war in Ukraine, obviously, but still, so many crises happened even before that one. And I think we all saw that we are losing something of ourselves. We are becoming worse as a humankind, I think. But somehow this title just popped up. And probably it represents what we were discussing and what we were all feeling when we were making this film. So we get these two ordinary guys, are not just ordinary guys, they have their own experience, which, logically thinking, would help them understand in what situation are these people inside the truck found themselves in. But what I wanted to show is that sometimes, even if we ourselves have this kind of experience, it does not stop us from doing quite the opposite of what we would do if the situation was normal. That's because I think the problem of the situation we are dealing with is that these are extraordinary circumstances, and in the extraordinary circumstances, none of us can really know how we will react. And this is why I thought that we needed even to underline this, to have these guys that have even their own experience, so that it's even more unlogical that they do what they do. I am a co-writer of this film, but I think the story was written by Tommaso Santi, and my participation as a screenwriter was basically helping him to move this story to Slovenia, to this border between Austria, Slovenia, and Italy, to get a different kind of identity for our main characters. I think this is what our world today is. It's a world of migrants, it's a world of refugees, it's a world of people who have very complex identities, and we are sometimes failing to realize this. We try to see a world as a very simple place, but it's not. It's a very complex place where everyone almost has a very complex identity. That's why also we choose to shoot in these gorgeous surroundings of Slovenian Alps. But underneath, there's so much tension, so much insecurity, so much fear that sometimes different versions of ourselves prevail. The ones we want to subtract, the ones we want to hide, not just from the world, but also from ourselves. But in these extraordinary circumstances, we become different, we become worse worst versions of ourselves, and that's the real tragedy.